Somehow, the actions of a state legislator knocking on the door of a governor who's signing a law that impacts her constituents, why her actions are somehow so dangerous and criminal that she got charged with 2 felonies. I've got news for the state of Georgia and for those who are trying to take the people's voices. We're going to keep on, in various ways, we're going to keep on knocking on that door. Because that wasn't just Representative Cannon knocking on the door. The people are knocking on the door saying that this democracy belongs to us, it doesn't belong to the politicians. And in this moment, we're going to stand up for that sacred American right, one person, one vote.
Senator, thank you so much. Thank you all of your Democratic colleagues who are still holdouts on getting rid of the filibuster.
What was that?
Do you think this will move the ball at all with your Democratic colleagues who are still holding out on the filibuster?
We will see, but folks keep asking what we are going to do about the filibuster. I think they ought to ask my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, what are they going to do about voting rights? The question really is not, where do I stand on the filibuster? That's a Senate rule. The most fundamental question is, where do you stand on voting rights? We wouldn't have to have this debate about the filibuster, at least on this issue, if the folks on the other side would do the right thing and stand for voting rights and vote the bill up. They can vote the bill up. Why won't they stand up for voting rights? They see what's happening right here in Georgia. They see legislators deciding that it's a crime to give people water who are standing in lines that they're making longer. And so I'm a member of the Senate. I respect its traditions. I'm honored to be there to represent the people of Georgia. But the issue of voting rights is about the democracy itself. It's much bigger than any Senate rule.
Let me just ask you first if you have any update for us on the situation with State Representative Park Cannon. She obviously, we all saw the footage of how she was handcuffed and dragged through the state capitol, taken into custody. It was shocking even after seeing that to learn that she had been charged with 2 felonies. Can you give us any update on that situation?
Well, first of all, you know, it's heartbreaking to watch that footage, and I've seen it a few times now. I've known Representative Cannon for several years. I'm her pastor. She is a brilliant young woman, deeply committed to public service. She shouldn't have had to endure this kind of insult and injury for standing up for her constituents and their right to be heard in their own democracy. And so she is taking some quiet time. We talked about that last night, and she just needs a little time to be still. And know that there is a power greater than the machinations of people who are using their office to try to silence the voices of the people. These are politicians who are trying to hold on to power. That's what this is. It's a power struggle, and they've decided that they're going to hold on to power no matter what, even if it costs the democracy itself. And the only people ultimately who can correct this are the people themselves. And so we've all got to stand up, say no to this. History is watching us, and our children are counting on us.
Hello, you're listening to the Armwood Opinion channel here on YouTube. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and subscribe to this channel if you want to get more progressive political content. And today I'm talking about this horrible new legislation passed here in Georgia restricting voter rights, particularly of those of people of color. It was targeted particularly at Fulton County and DeKalb County in metropolitan Atlanta. That's what Governor Kemp and the Georgia Assembly were targeting their new voter restriction bills at. What are they doing? They have passed a bill which restricts the number of drop boxes that can be used for early voting. Then instead of being outside, as they have been for years, and monitored by camera, they are being forced to be inside and only at early polling locations where there may be one or two in a county. And if you live where I live, where a lot of senior citizens don't have a car, it's impossible for you to get there. There's no bus transportation, and they know this. This is what they're doing. This is attack directed toward people of color. In Fulton County, where people waited from 10 to 12 hours during the presidential election last year, you can't give people water or food while they're online to vote. What justification would there be for that, except to keep poor people from voting? This is Jim Crow type legislation. This is like the poll taxes and the written tests they gave during the Jim Crow era. As I mentioned in my last video, they gave my grandfather, who was the principal of a high school in Greenwood, South Carolina, the Constitution to read, and then they asked him to explain it. And after he did that, they gave him Latin to read. So his response to them was, it is obvious that you don't intend for me to vote today. And of course, that's what they were doing. And this is what Brian Kemp and the Republicans in the Georgia Assembly have done. There are 42 other states in the nation that have pending voter restrictions right now. The question is, what can we do about it? What can you and I do to make a difference? Well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can do a lot. We can put pressure on our senators. Fortunately, here in Georgia, we have two excellent senators in Raphael Warnock and Josh Ossoff, who support House Bill 1, which is now Senate Bill 1. It was already passed by the House, and HB 4, House Bill 4, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which is Senate Bill 4. They support that. But we need to get rid of the filibuster. And we have people like Joe Manchin in West Virginia who are Democrats who don't want to get rid of the filibuster. He is a Dixiecrat to me. The old-fashioned Democrats during the 1960s who opposed civil rights. He's from West Virginia. Which should tell, if you've been to West Virginia, that should tell you a lot. He doesn't want to get rid of the filibuster. Well, I'm sorry. Sacrificing a made-up Senate rule that's nothing to do with the Constitution, that's been used since its inception for blocking civil rights legislation from the 19th century into the 1960s. You know, I watched it on TV as a child growing up. Getting rid of that non-majoritarian rule to keep our basic voting rights is necessary. We need to blast any Democratic senators who are not supporting getting rid of the filibuster. We need to send letters to them. If you live in that state, demonstrate at their office. Demonstrate anywhere in your state. Demonstrate. Make noise. And name them, point them out. Joe Manchin must go. He's a traitor. Joe Manchin must go. He's a traitor. And anybody else. Bring public attention to them. Put pressure on them. Put pressure on President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to put pressure on these senators. This is a fight for our political survival in this country. We know what it's like to be under Jim Crow. Some of us were alive when Jim Crow was still around. We know what it's like. We're not going to allow this to happen again. It's just no. If Manchin has to go, he's got to go. We have to put fear in Democrats' hearts. Fear if they don't want to get rid of the filibuster. Joe Biden started off not wanting to do it. He's coming around. Because without black folks, he wouldn't be in office. So, I think he's gotten the message. We're not playing. We have got to force these people to do the right thing. And when Joe Biden says it's un-American, no, he's wrong. This is very American. It's been America for most of its history. Voting restrictions have been around in America for almost all of its history. Really, only from the 1960s to this period have we not had voter restrictions. So we're talking about less than 60 years. And America's been around since 1776. So 250 years. So no, this is like America. The American empire has always worked based upon white supremacy. They stole the land from the indigenous Americans. They enslaved Africans, brought us here, raped my ancestors. I didn't get this light by marriage. Remember, before 1966, in the South, where most of us lived, where my parents come from, interracial marriage was illegal. Until Loving v. Virginia, 1966. That's the case. This is rapist blood. You see a light-skinned black person in America, 9 times out of 10, it's because some white man raped a black woman. Thomas Jefferson raped a 14-year-old girl serially over years and had 4 children with her. Her name was Sally Hemings. These are bad people. America is full of bad people. Joe Manchin is a bad man. He's in the Senate. He's a member of the Democratic Party, but his resistance to getting rid of this filibuster and willingness to sacrifice the rights of African Americans makes him a bad man. Period. These aren't good people. So we have to put pressure on them. We have to resist. Like my hat says, and my t-shirt says, which you really can't see, but it says, resistance is not futile. I get that from Star Trek, from Resisting the Borg. If you remember Locutus, Patrick Stewart is resisting the Borg. That's where I get it from. But I'm going to stop here because I'm bad as hell and I'm not willing to take it anymore. We're not going backwards. We're coming for you, Governor Kemp. We're coming for you. 2 years, you're going to be out of office. There's no chance you're going to get reelected. You probably will get primaried by the Republicans because they know you can't win. You can go back to drinking your Budweisers. You still do. Look at your face. It looks like it's red, like you're drunk. We're going to get you. You're going out of office. You stole your way into office last time by perjuring voter rolls of legitimate voters. And now we're going to purge you out of office. Have a good day, folks. Hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm not playing anymore. I'm going to bring it to you like it is, and I'm going to offer solutions. And the core of the solution is agitate, agitate, agitate. And I don't care who doesn't like it. We must prevail.